Hi guys, Angelfish Keeper here, and I'm going to do a video on things you need to know about angelfish if you're going to breed them, or start breeding them, or even looking into breeding them. Now, angelfish are a cichlid from South America, from the Amazon River. Obviously, most of your variants of angelfish have never seen the wild. They're all man-made now to get your fancy colours out of them. It's normally your silver angels, which are like these fellas here, which have the stripes. They're your wild types. Things like this, like your marbles, your koi, they're all man-made to get the patterns, and they just wouldn't survive in the wild because they've got no camouflage. So those ones do tend to be a bit more hardy than like your wild coats because they're not really adjusted to like tap water yet. They've got to be line bred 2-3 generations down the line before they can really be classed as not a wild fish. They're very hard to sex. There's a lot of ifs and maybes on how to sex them, but the only way you can actually be like 100% certain is if you see the gap between the ventral fins and the anal fin, like usually directly in the middle of that there'll be like a little bump, and that's the ovipositor, and that's where the eggs come out of. So on a female that'll be blunt, and on a male it will be pointed, and it'll either be pointing forwards or backwards, and that's where he delivers the sperm, and he'll go up after the female, fertilising the eggs. So the female goes up first, laying the eggs, and then the male goes over the top of them with his sperm, and they just keep doing that until they're completely done. And you can usually tell which one's the female and male because the female obviously gets full up of eggs. She'll go very plump, looking like she's about to pop. Like, you can't really see on these ones because they're not really facing me, but you can see where the belly's kind of distended. I mean, that's not eggs, that is just food, but you can normally tell when they're getting ready to breed because they're bigger than normal. So this is the pair of platinum blue silvers that I put in this tank, and there's starting to be a bit more activity, so I believe I have got male and female here. And actually another way I've found to tell the sex, it hasn't been it's not a proven way, but I've gone by this and it seemed to have worked out every time I've done it. So if you look at the ventral fins, which are the two really long fins coming down, I've found if they're like long and they go past the anal fin, it tends to be a male. And if they're stopped just before the ventral fin, or they're like level with the ventral fin, it's a female. So as you can see there, she's got quite short ones and he's got really long ones, so that's a good indication of a pair. But what people don't realise is 2 females will actually spawn and do this whole chasing and courting thing with 2 females, and they will lay eggs together, and you think you've got a pair, but the eggs just go white and fungus and you never get any hatch because they're not fertile. And people just go, oh, I'll keep trying, I'll keep trying, I'll keep trying, hoping that one day they do get some viable babies, but they won't because they've got 2 females. It happens with discus as well. If you don't get your discus off a reputable breeder, a lot of people will sell you 2 females as a pair for pair money. You know, it's the same with angelfish because they're so hard to breed if you don't know, so hard to sex, sorry, if you don't know how to do it. But the males tend to be the more aggressive one when it comes to the spawning. So the male will be the one with the immaculate fins, the female will be a little bit tattered. And then, yeah, so back to, you could get 2 females. Obviously 2 males you're not going to get anything, they're just going to fight. But with them being a cichlid, the males as they age, as they get older, you're looking at about angels that are possibly 5 years plus will start getting a nuchal hump that cichlids are known for. Obviously it's not as prominent as most of the cichlids that get them, but you can see a small little hump on the top of the head if it's a male, and then that's your indication. It's not necessarily the size, the males don't have to be bigger, the females can be bigger than the male. But in my case, the male is bigger than the female. So yeah, they haven't done anything yet, eggs wise, because they haven't really got anything that can spawn on. At the moment, the Hongsloy have dug a little cave down there. So hopefully, fingers crossed, the female's getting a bit fatter, so hopefully she's filling up with eggs. Yeah, so the angels haven't done anything yet. Neither have the ones in the big tank. But they are showing signs of pairing off. Like these two here are always together. Two of the platinum blue silvers that are in there are always together and shimmying with each other. So hopefully I can get at least a pair out of the fish in that tank and I'll be happy. I'm not going to put a breeding cone in there because it's too intrusive. So I'm going to put a slate up against the back because the back's black, so you're not going to really see it. Or I might hide it behind the sponge filter or something and just hide it, and hopefully that'll give them something to spawn on. I mean, they've been cleaning this piece of wood here, but that's just going to be really awkward for them to try and lay eggs on. And it's a lovely pair of angels. So if I can get some babies out of this, I'm just getting back into breeding angelfish now after I lost all my other pairs last year. I just thought, yeah, I'm starting to miss it, so I'm going to get back into breeding angels. Hopefully I can get something. If I don't get anything out of these, I'm just going to get another tank and buy like an older pair of angels, because these are young. These are under a year old, these angels. Angels are ready to breed at about 8 months. 8 months old is when you usually start to get them. So they could be too young, you know. You can't really say. But yeah, that's basically what you need to know on how to sex angels, what you really need to look out for. What you need to also make sure you do is buy a group. If you can't sex angels straight out, male and female, because obviously even with a male and female there's no guarantee of them getting along and then pairing off with each other, you know. You could have a pair of angels in a tank for 5 years being a male and female and not getting anything, you know. There's no guarantee with it. So what I like to do is I like to buy a group of about 6 to 8 angels, all the different sizes. Make sure you can what I like to do is get them from like different places, because normally when shops get them in, if it's all the same batch, they're actually usually like brothers and sisters from the same parents, and obviously you don't want to breed them back to each other because you're just going to inbreed the fish and make a weaker strain, and you're just never going to get any of the babies to hatch. So you're going to get them from like different places where you know they won't be from the same parents, and then you can diversify the gene pool. So yeah, that's another thing you want to look out for, and that's the main thing. Just get a group of 6 to 8, they'll pair up, and then if you want you can just leave them in the main tank. I've took a pair out on what I thought was going to be a pair. It looks like my odds are good. I'm just waiting on something to happen now. I'm feeding them up. Hopefully within a month, if not less, we'll have some babies out of this pair. So yeah, that was just a video on how to sex angelfish if you're going to breed them and stuff like that. What to look out for. Be careful when you're buying off other people, because they could sell you 2 females. They do it with stingrays. They'll actually cut the claspers off the male stingrays, because you can sex stingrays and sharks from birth. You just look basically under the body, and they've got, like, if it's a male, like 2 fins coming underneath the ventral fins by the tail, and that means it's a male. If it hasn't got them, it's a female. But what the farms sometimes do is they cut them off to sell them as a female, because the females bring more money, because it's the females that give birth. It's horrible, but they do it. So then you buy a pair of stingrays, you be like, I want a male and female. They can cut the claspers off the male and sell you 2 females. Because a male stingray can go for like £100 to £200 depending on the species. Can be a lot more, can be a lot less. Whereas females fetch double the price of the males. You know, I went off on a little tangent there at the end with the stingrays, but it's kind of the same thing on what to look out for with angelfish. Obviously there's nothing they cut off on angelfish, but obviously just if you don't know what you're looking for, if you don't know about the breeding tubes, then someone can sell you 2 females and you're going to be none the wiser. You get eggs, you're like, oh great, I've got a pair, just nothing's happening. You don't know you've got 2 females until obviously you see a video or something, or somebody mentions it. So yeah, don't want this video to be too long, so thanks for watching. I hope this helps if you're thinking of breeding angelfish. So thanks for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe. Let me know if I've missed anything as well, because I've been rambling, so I've probably missed something out that I should have mentioned. But if I have, just put it in the comments. Right. Bye.